Hello, and welcome to the first podcast for the PTSG podcast. This is your host, Sheba, and I'm here to talk to you about the evolution of the fitness industry since I started about 15 or so years ago. Now, when I first became a personal trainer, it was purely out of interest in understanding how my own trainer at the time was programming my workouts. I was very curious. I wanted to know, like, how do you know what exercises I have to do? How do you know how many reps? Like, I never understood. How does he know? And I enrolled in a personal training certification to better understand how to train myself so I didn't have to have a trainer anymore. I started working my first job, hired as a personal trainer in a commercial gym around 2008 in a town called Orleans outside of Ottawa, Ontario. Now, not only was I one of two female trainers on the staff of almost 30 other men, but I was also, I think, the only other colored trainer or trainer of color on staff. So what this meant for me was when someone would come in and they would ask for a female trainer or someone that came in who was of a different ethnicity themselves, they often were handed to me for those two reasons. The other female trainer I worked with had a very busy roster. She had been there for a long time, had a lot of experience in having competed in bodybuilding. I was very new to working for a company, selling personal training sessions, but my business began to boom because I brought in my experience as a journalist into my job. So I would connect with people, I would talk to them, I would listen to their life stories, and I would try and understand their why. Why do you want to train? Why is this goal so important to you? Why do you want to be skinny? Like, what really happened? I really got into my investigative abilities, tapped into that part of myself and was able to connect with people on an emotional level. And the training principles I applied were very basic in the beginning. The biggest problem, however, at the time was I was maybe 94 pounds, so somewhere between 44 and 47 kilos, looked very skinny. I didn't necessarily lift very heavy at the time either. And people would turn to me and say, well, why should I hire you as a trainer? Look at you. You don't look like a trainer. And in the beginning, I would feel completely shunned. Like I would just feel myself freeze when someone would say that. And I heard this frequently. People would ask me if I'm the intern, if I'm the student that they talk to before they get to talk to the actual trainer, And I remember one time someone turned to me and they said, well, how are you going to train me? You don't look like a trainer. And I asked them, okay, what to you, is the image of a personal trainer? What should I look like? And they said, well, Arnold, clearly. And I said, okay, do you care more that I look like I work out? Or would you rather I know how to help you work out? And that was the first time that I had actually responded to a statement like that because I had been hearing it for weeks and months on end. I actually probably heard this for the first maybe 5 years of my career. People telling me I looked really small, I looked like the student, I looked like the intern, I didn't really look like a trainer. And over time, as I gained experience and knowledge, I am very much the sort of person who likes to understand everything. I want to understand anatomy. I want to understand how muscles work, hypertrophy training, strength training. I was reading bodybuilding magazines. I didn't just care about having toned arms and abs, I didn't train, in that female, get those curves. I didn't have those kind of driving intentions in my training. My goal was always to be strong. It wasn't to look a specific way. It wasn't even to lift a specific weight. It was just to feel strong and to be strong. And so the more information I exposed myself to, the more education I gained, the more experience I gained, people began to respect me for the knowledge that I had and the amount of passion I put into the job and the amount of effort I put into their individual goals, customizing their training, the way we work out, having a laugh, focusing on my clients. And over the years, people began to come to me and say, "Oh, your clients always look like they're having a good time. You're the only trainer who's never looking at her phone when you're with your clients. You never, check yourself out in the mirror. Your clients are always like, making progress. They look really happy." And so getting that feedback was very empowering within itself. But being a female trainer of color who weighed under 100 pounds back in 2008, 2009, and ultimately who got into powerlifting, there was a lot of resistance that I was constantly met with in my career, in having to build my clients and in having to prove my credibility as a trainer. Now, with social media, TikTok, Instagram, more and more girls are coming out and really proving the power in being small and strong, being like small and mighty. All of these like little things that were almost a problem for me 10 years ago are now a very empowering source for a lot of women. The fitness industry has changed dramatically just in the decade and some that I've been in it. And it's really, really cool. But at the same time, now the problem is the other way around, where if you aren't skinny, you aren't the small little petite, girl, and you look average. I think I look very average to someone I'm talking to. If you don't fit this image of a personal trainer, I guess that's always been true. If you don't fit a specific image of a personal trainer, you are met with more resistance. But the other problem that's happening now, especially for the female trainers who might be listening into this, that has really drained me in the last several years, is if I'm not willing to post photos of myself in a bikini, get a whole bunch of fillers in, and just look like this happy-go-lucky, curled hair, big eyelashed lifter, I'm not getting as many followers. I'm not getting as many endorsements. I'm not getting as much attention. If I just am passionate about my job and I just talk about what I do, that feels tough too. So for anyone who's watching this is my first episode. It's just an intro. There's nothing really clear here. I think with every episode, I will have way more clarity. I was just excited to get this podcast started, so I thought I would record this. But my message for any trainer who's listening to this is that I think the worst thing you can do is try and be the expectation of what people think they need to see when it comes to you as a personal trainer, or the experience they think they need to expect. Instead, I think if you can focus on your own originality and bring your own uniqueness to this job, that really will help you as a trainer. Despite not having a large social media following or, heavy endorsements, I am very proud to say that over the last decade and a half, the only job I've done is work as a trainer. Of course, I also work on YouTube, but working as a personal trainer full time has been enough for me to pay my bills, live my life, and do what I need to do. So find your true calling, find who you truly are, stick to that, stand by that and allow that to guide you in this field, because it is very, very crowded. It's very colorful, but find your own color, find your own vibrancy, and just move forward with that. But thank you so much for listening. I'm really excited to get this podcast rolling. Feel free to come join me on TikTok. I have videos on my YouTube channel under XShibaX under the PTSG playlist. I'm on Instagram under the PT Success Guide. I'm here for you. However, wherever you need me. Until next time, think strong always, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.